We arrive in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where wildfire is nothing new. But today, we find ourselves in the middle of a tragedy that is still unfolding. As we get closer, smoke hangs in the air from a forest fire burning near our campground. It's not just the fire that has the community on edge. We begin to learn that 2 firefighters responding to the blaze have been killed in an ambush, turning an already dangerous situation into something far more devastating. And here, that reality carries a deeper weight, because more than a century ago, these same forests were at the center of one of the most destructive wildfires in American history, the Great Fire of 1910, also known as the Big Blowup. From that historic event come stories of extraordinary courage. Men like Ed Pulaski, who faced impossible odds, balancing loss with heroism. 2 years ago, we followed that history to its source, visiting the Pulaski Tunnel. We're departing Montana and making our way into Idaho, a place we love for its endless blue skies, breathtaking snow-capped mountains, and vast forest. Today, we're once again headed to Coeur d'Alene, easy to love for its relaxed charm, friendly locals, and deep blue lakes.
Turn left. You've entered the parking lot for your destination.
Aren't they pretty?
Yes, they are. Geraniums, is that what they're?
I believe they are. Blackwell Island RV Park.
Duck crossing.
We can go down there and just sit at the water.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Can't wait to walk around this place. It's nice.
The Blackwell Island RV Park is a large, modern park that is big rig friendly. It sits directly on the banks of the Spokane River and looks across the waterway into the city of Coeur d'Alene. After setting up, we head into town to grab a bite to eat. It's here that we first learn about the fire. Everyone in the restaurant seems to be talking about the fire, and our waitress tells us what she's heard. She tells us that some high school kids have started a fire up on the mountain and are shooting at the firemen that have responded to the blaze. It seems awful hard to believe, but then we see the smoke.
At the light, turn right onto Lincoln Way.
Hey, I think that's the smoke over there from the fire.
They have a good blaze going.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
That's terrible.
Yeah, that is. Oh.
Stupid kids.
So at approximately 1:21 p.m. this afternoon, we received reports of a fire on the east side of Canfield Mountain. Fire assets responded to the scene, and at approximately 2 p.m. this afternoon, it was reported that firefighters were receiving shots fired at them. We now have 2 deaths. We have an unknown amount of casualties. We still have civilians that are coming off of that mountain.
I cannot begin to understand these mass attacks, but this one seems even more senseless. These are men who run into the face of danger to preserve our forest and to save lives. Their loss is a tremendous loss to everyone. It occurs to me how incredibly tough these firemen are, both mentally and physically. If there is any place that understands the heroics of firemen, it is Coeur d'Alene. The largest fire in the history of the U.S. was centered here, a fire like no other before or since, consuming 3 million acres in 2 days. The scale and intensity was staggering. At least 78 firefighters lost their lives then. At the center of the total destruction was a man who heroically saved lives. That man was Ed Pulaski, and you can retrace his steps at the trail of the Pulaski Tunnel.
In the summer of 1910, the forests of the American Northwest were a powder keg waiting to explode. Months of extreme drought had left the region brittle and dry. The states of Idaho, Montana, and Washington were covered in dense forests. The railroads that cut through these forests were lifelines for the towns, but also ticking time bombs as the sparks from locomotives easily ignited the dry underbrush. Small fires had been smoldering for weeks, started by lightning strikes, careless campers, and the constant flicker of sparks from passing trains. By August, more than 1,000 small fires dotted the landscape, and the understaffed, poorly equipped U.S. Forest Service struggled to control them.
The Forest Service was established in 1905, a mere 5 years before the Big Blowup. The young organization began with less than 500 total employees, and by 1910 had grown to around 1,500, of which approximately 1,000 were forest rangers, or one forest ranger for every 175,000 acres of responsibility.
Few could have predicted how quickly those scattered flames would merge into an unstoppable inferno. Then came the winds. On August 20th, 1910, a fierce cold front swept through the region, whipping the flames into a massive firestorm. Suddenly, walls of fire hundreds of feet high tore through the forest, devouring everything in their path. Trees exploded from the intense heat, and entire hillsides ignited in seconds. The fire moves with terrifying speed, consuming 3 million acres in just 2 days. Towns like Wallace, Idaho, were overrun, with residents fleeing as flames licked at the edges of their homes. In some places, people barely escaped with their lives, while others were not so fortunate. The smoke darkening the sky for hundreds of miles, turning day into night.
Smoke from the fire was seen as far away as New England.
The fire spread so rapidly that even experienced woodsmen and firefighters were caught off guard. These men were sent into the inferno with little more than hand tools and wet blankets. Among these men was Ed Pulaski, a ranger in the Forest Service, whose leadership during the fire would become the stuff of legend. As the flames closed in, Pulaski led his crew of 45 men through the burning forest. Realizing they had no chance of outrunning the fire, he made a desperate decision. He guided his men into an abandoned mining tunnel near Wallace, Idaho, ordering them to lie flat and cover their faces with wet clothes. As smoke and heat filled the tunnel, panic set in. Some of the men tried to flee, but Pulaski drew his pistol, threatening to shoot anyone who left. His harsh command may have been the only thing that saved them. For hours, they endured suffocating smoke and blistering heat, but Pulaski's leadership kept them alive. When the fire finally passed, Pulaski and 38 of his men stumbled out of the mine, burned and battered but alive. In total, 78 firefighters and 9 civilians lost their lives in the Great Fire. Many of these men were buried where they fell, their sacrifices barely recorded in the chaos.
Of the 45 men that Ed Pulaski led, 6 perished. One died when a tree fell on him while running to the tunnel, and the rest succumbed to heat and smoke inhalation. Upon reaching the tunnel, Pulaski ordered his men to lie on the tunnel floor, where the best air was, as smoke was quickly filling the space. Pulaski hung blankets over the entrance and remained at the tunnel opening, continuing to throw water onto the blankets to prevent the support timbers from burning. He continued until he too passed out, overwhelmed by smoke and heat. When the men awoke the next day, all but 5 had survived. Pulaski's experience leads him to create a tool that is now the staple for all forest fighting units. The apparatus, which is named after him, is a 2-headed combination axe and hoe. It both chops trees and clears the underbrush. The Pulaski is now standard issuance to all forest firefighters. Now that you have context into the incredible events of the Big Blowup and the heroics of Ed Pulaski, we take you with us to the actual tunnel that Ed Pulaski and his men raced to on that eventful day. The trail is a hiking trail that is well known to locals and frequently traveled. It is located about 5 minutes from the town of Wallace, Idaho, and approximately 15 minutes from Coeur d'Alene. The trail is considered a moderate hike at less than 2 miles in length and has approximately 800 feet of elevation gain. All along the path, you'll see signs describing the conditions leading up to the Big Blowup and the details Pulaski and his men faced on that fateful day. Pulaski later recounted, crews of several hundred men were working 24 hours a day throughout the mountains, endeavoring to hold back the fires. On August 19th, Pulaski returned to Wallace to collect supplies needed by his men. As he was leaving to head back up to the mountain, he told his wife, "Goodbye, I may never see you again." He knew the conditions were dangerous, but nothing could have prepared him for what he would face next. The trail runs adjacent to the Placer Creek, and the brush and trees have fully recovered from the devastation that occurred here 115 years prior. The walking trail is wide and easily accommodates us walking beside one another. The stream is flowing crystal clear water, and we pass several lovely small waterfalls. But halfway up the trail, you come upon another abandoned mine. This one is called the War Eagle Mine. You'll most likely know it by the sign highlighting the water-driven air ventilation pump. A little farther up the trail, you reach the Pulaski Tunnel. The tunnel was formerly the Nicholson Mine Tunnel. The prospectors of the mine hoped to discover iron ore. However, it was abandoned due to a lack of success. The tunnel at the time Ed Pulaski and his men occupied the tunnel, it was approximately 6 feet high, 5 wide, and maybe 250 feet deep. Ed and his men were working about 3 miles farther south and west before making the mad dash to save themselves here. The structures outside the tunnel that are seen today are recreated from photographs of the original structures. You can go down to the opening, but you cannot enter the mine, as just beyond the entrance are metal bars. The recreation is a pretty good likeness of what Pulaski and his men raced through. It is hard to imagine that 45 men and 2 horses could rapidly pass through that opening, considering the chaos that was occurring all around them. It is now the next day. The person who ambushed the firemen has been subdued, and the firefighters have made significant progress on extinguishing the hillside fire. The city has relaxed, and people have returned to enjoying the outdoors. We follow suit and head to the center of activity, which is along the shoreline of Lake Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene is flying under everyone's radar. This is a beautiful city. It is clean, people are friendly, there is culture here, it is affordable, and if outdoors lifestyle is your key to happiness, I am not sure you can do better than to live here. Unless it's perhaps another city or town in the lovely state of Idaho.
There they go again.
I think they're called a flag. The 3 horsemen.
I know. Oh, is it taking off?
The irony is not lost on us that one of the last places we pass through is a memorial to the men and women who have given their lives fighting fires. Today, those flags are all at half-mast. It is very sad indeed. The Mineral Ridge Trail is an invigorating 3.3-mile loop that offers outstanding views over the Beauty Bay and Wolf Lodge Bay of Coeur d'Alene Lake. In 1982, the trail was designated as a National Recreation Trail. Each winter from November through February, a migrating population of up to 150 bald eagles visit the area to feed on spawning salmon. We make a quick stop at the easy-to-miss Prospect Point. It's interpretive sign 13 on the map. It was a little quirky, but I liked it. I would expect to see more blackberries, though. Maybe there's some over there. My father would have been picking these.
They're not ready.
No, these aren't ready. There's one I saw on there. But boy, the bears will knock this down when these get ripe.
Yes, they will.
Very pretty hike so far. Coeur d'Alene.
Tunnel rocks? What's that mean?
I think it's, I don't know, we're going to see it, but I interpret it to mean there's a mine. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So 400 feet, you know, it's 133 yards. So it's not going to be far, a little bit over a football field. I think we're there. Whoa.
doing it with snakes.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't,
Snakes.
oh, wow.
How much is it?
It only goes this far.
Snakes could be in these rocks. In these rocks. Like bursting me out.
There's no snakes in there. That's as dry as can be. Great view. Well, you can look at the video and see what was in there. Wonder what that is. I'm gonna guess it's not a bathroom. There's a trail that runs back that way that I think looks out over the edge. Parking area? You could have driven up here? That's no fair.
Where did you see that?
And a sign there. Yeah. I think this is considered the parking area. 2875 Caribou Cabin. Oh yeah, this is cute. Look at that. Wow. That is awesome.
Oh my goodness, how pretty.
Yeah.
That entry up there. Oh, there's two.
The second spur trail on this route is the Lost Man Trail. It offers an excellent viewpoint to look out over the Wolf Lodge Bay. This reminds me of that trail in North Carolina. Although no, you can, wow, look at that. Yeah, that's a pretty amazing view of the lake. Wow. Yeah. I think where you were, you can actually see that way better. Yeah. But
Cool. Let's see, huh?
it's a very nice view. Must be pretty deep to be that blue. And here come the switchbacks.
Yep.
I don't know how people do it, but they leave their keys on the trail. How do they leave? This one's a Wagoneer.
And was it there when we came?
It was not. Thank you for choosing to watch our video. We are very appreciative. If you have questions or comments, please reach out to us either through YouTube comments or through our website found at kenandpattystravels.com. We strive to make videos that you enjoy. In any case, we do appreciate your feedback. What did you like or not like? Is there something more you want us to add in? Your feedback helps to make these videos better. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, and we greatly appreciate those who choose to subscribe to our channel. YouTube does factor this into its calculations, and your feedback motivates me to put out more of these videos. We love our Brinkley and frequently give tours to people who want to see inside it. There are more Brinkleys gathered here than we have seen in any location other than RV Sales Center. The new travel trailers are absolutely killer beautiful. Oh dear, I hope we didn't miss anyone. I don't want to goat you into anything, but we are already working on our next video. In it, we celebrate the 4th of July by venturing into the deepest canyon in North America, and within it, we take a ride on a jet boat down the Snake River.